How's it going, everybody? In this video, I'll be showing you how I use Notion to track my daily habits and routines. I'm going to walk you through my process step by step and show you how I use different Notion features to stay on track. But before we get started, if you haven't already, be sure to check out my previous video in this series where I explain how I use Notion to time block my day. If you stick around until the end of the video, I'll be showing my free Notion template that you can download and use to start tracking your personal habits today. So be sure to watch to the end. The link is in the description if you want to get started right away, but let's get into it. A few years ago, I read a book called The Art of Impossible by Steven Kotler. The book is advertised as a peak performance primer, and it talks about the non-negotiable daily habits and routines that you need in order to achieve the impossible. I was deeply inspired by this book, and I wanted to find a way to implement these daily habits into my own routine. So around the same time, I actually read another book called The Four Disciplines of Execution. In this book, they talk about the importance of having leading measures and lagging measures when you're setting goals and having a scoreboard for each. So in the book, the leading measures are defined as predictive and actionable measures like tasks that can be executed to impact the outcome, aka the goal. So an example of this would be if you want to lose weight. Tracking your calories would be your leading measure. Every single day that you track calories, that is a leading measure in service to your greater goal of losing weight. Which brings me to lagging measures, which are the results that come from the leading measures. This is the metric that tells you whether or not you achieved the goal. The book actually recommends focusing on leading measures to drive progress towards the goal, rather than solely focusing on lagging measures. It's the classic case of focusing on your process rather than your results. Lastly, in the book, it talks about having a scoreboard to track your leading measures. So that allows individuals or teams, whoever is using these measures, to see their progress toward achieving their goals by focusing on the leading measures over the lagging measures. Anyways, this is where my idea for the habit tracker came from. The habits themselves are the actionable leading measures, and the way I feel when I'm hitting all my habits, or my awareness, is my lagging measure. And this habit score right here, that is my scoreboard. So the way that I track my habits in Notion is I have a database entry for each day, and each day I have different habits that I'll try to check off. So the first thing I'll do is I'll record how many minutes that I slept the night previous, and that's recorded from my Fitbit. I'm currently working on a way to link the APIs so that syncs automatically with each sleep entry. But depending on the minutes that I type in here, I'll get a habit score. If I don't reach my sleep goal, which is a different property that's predefined in here, then it won't give me the credit for that specific habit. And it's the same with any of these that I don't check off. So if I uncheck this, it'll automatically go down. One of the unique strengths of this habit tracker is the utilization of Notion's databases and views. So you can easily create different views to analyze your progress, such as this calendar view to see which days you completed all your habits, or a gallery view like I have here that only shows today. You can use Notion's grouping feature to run weekly numbers on each of your habits and keep track of your metrics. Another thing I like about this habit tracker is that it's fully customizable to fit specific needs. You can add or remove any of these habits anytime by adjusting your habit goal value. For example, if I wanted to shorten my habit stack to 6, I could do that. And then I only have to hit 6 of these to reach 100%. Or if I wanted to add an additional breath work, I could change it to 9 and then just duplicate the breath and add the new property to the total habits checked formula. And to do this is pretty easy. All you have to do is use the Unary Plus formula, and then make sure that you add, and then Unary Plus, and then you add the new property. So whatever that looks like. Anyways, this just helps tailor the tracker to your personal goals and preferences. So that's how the tracker works. So a little bit about my routine and how I use the habit tracker. I have a custom Notion view of the habit manager on specific time blocks throughout my day. And whenever they show up on a time block, they are my top priority. For example, this is my lunch read gratitude time block. And you can see I have daily habits here, read and gratitude. And when it pops up, it's one of the first things that I do to make sure that I'm on track. My weekly habits are the same. So at the end of the day, I have these habits that I chip away at throughout the week. And the last thing that I do every day is that I record my energy levels, which is also attached to the habit tracker. And once I record my energy levels, I'll attach it to the proper stats that it belongs on. Once I do that, the entry disappears and it gets sent to my monthly stats card on my home dashboard, which gives me a macro view of my scoreboard. So its effectiveness branches beyond just myself, and I've set this tracker up for my 6-year-old. He decked it out with Spider-Man stuff, and my 2-year-old decked it out with Bluey stuff, and they all seem to love it. And I know it's not best business practice to use your family as your top references, but a huge shout out to them for being my biggest fans. It's so great to have a support system like that. And so that actually brings me to the template. So if you want to start tracking your own habits and daily routines using Notion, be sure to download my free habit tracking template on Gumroad, Flow OS. This is version 2 of Flow OS, complete with a new monthly stats tracking card. The template comes complete with a wiki that teaches you how to set it up for yourself so you can start tracking your progress towards your goals today. The link to download the template is in the description below, so be sure to check it out, and don't forget to let me know how it works for you in the comments. Thank you all, and take care.